Your most embarrassing moment as a K-pop stan.
Not so much a baby stand moments, more an IRL, but I pocket posted an idol onto my personal Instagram story. I don't tell people I'm into K-pop. I quickly deleted, but not before a friend messaged asking me who it was. Told them I didn't know, and it must have come up on my Instagram explore page. That pretty man, no idea.
Mine happened just a couple weeks ago. Was learning how to use a software program in class, and my TA was helping me because I couldn't upload a file. So with him standing right behind me and looking at my screen, I opened up all the files on my laptop, and the first thing that came up were a bunch of video clips I used to make an Irene edit. Even worse than that, the clips were titled Irene Bathtub. You know, the clip from the Queen's Archive, Perfect 10, where she rises out of the bathtub. There's like a 2% chance he didn't see it and think it was something weird or X-rated. Absolutely mortifying.
I, for the longest time, thought was Momoland was a place where Mamamoo performed. I also thought that OT7 was the name of the GOT7 fandom.
I'm pretty sure I thought Girls' Generation and SNSD were different groups for a little bit when I first got into K-pop lol, and for an IRL embarrassing moment, when we were at a family friend's house party, my mom decided to randomly let this girl's Korean fiancé know that I loved K-pop. Like, bitch, WTF. So awkward. What is he even supposed to say? Bye, bro? Prob thought I was a Korea boo or something.
NEGA and NIGA means you. Younger me thought they were dropping N-bombs left and right. Stopped halfway through RMs. Do you?
I work as an intern for a newspaper. I create content for their website and post some stuff on their social media. Yesterday I was bored at work and I started checking out Stan Twitter for the lols, since I had read about some armies comparing Jungkook to Princess Diana. Well, after a few minutes of liking and retweeting some nonsense about Jungkook and Princess Diana, I realized I was logged into the newspaper account and not my personal one. Let's say I was quick to delete all traces of it.
Thinking V Live was just Taehyung's thing.
Same. I think it was when they did the lie detector thing and Twice made one too, and I was confused why Twice was stealing BTS's logo, until I realized it was a whole platform.
I definitely thought this for a hot minute. Like, I thought he created the platform for himself and then popularized it since other members and other groups were using it as well.
This is just an embarrassing moment that just so happened to be because of K-pop. It keeps me up at night, and this shit happened like 6 years ago now. I was going to an EXO concert, and it happened to take place on Valentine's Day. I was waiting in line for a floor ticket, so I had got there a few hours early so I could get a decent spot. I went to the concert alone and ended up talking to and befriending the people who were in line around me. There was this one girl who just talked so softly and I could barely hear her and had to keep asking her to repeat herself, but you know, after a while that gets a little old. We were talking about how or when we got our tickets, and all I hear from this girl is, "My boyfriend, last week, friend gave me tickets, that's why I'm here on Valentine's Day instead." And like, I didn't want to have to ask her to repeat herself again, because obviously that would be embarrassing. I can use context clues. So I say, thinking this girl just got dumped a week prior. Who needs him? EXO makes better Valentines anyways. She just stares and is like, "No, he died last week." Bro. WTF. How do you even recover from that? You don't. Hands down my most embarrassing moment ever. I was turning off my earbuds in the PE locker room so I can change, and Cheer Up's chorus just starts blasting out loud for a few seconds till I turned it off rushedly. I swear to God all the dudes around me stopped changing, instead after I turned it off. Embarrassing as hell.
I thought that V and Taehyung were two different people. Same with RM and Namjoon.
Back in the old days it was very common in my friend group to tweet stupid things at K-pop or K-hip-hop stars, just for shits and giggles. One day I open up Instagram and I see that Doc 2 is in Vegas, so I had him in a tweet asking, "What the fuck are you doing in Vegas?" and he replied, shopping the fuck out. I had to fight the urge to delete my whole account and go live in a forest or something. Whenever I found a group I wanted to stan, I would go to K-profiles to see the bias poll and choose the least fav member as my bias simply because I wanted to be not like the other girls.
I still do this, just in case the idol ever checks on there and gets sad they're last place.
I was screaming really loud to Tiffany during an SM Town concert, and Lay walked past me looking terribly concerned for this fanboy.
I can picture him like that.
The worst part is he did a double take to check on me, even after he walked past. At my fav group's concert, yelling over a lot of noise to the late teens girl seated next to me.
How old are you?
35.
Oh, that's not too old. I'll be 20 soon.
What? No, 35.
Oh. Well, lots of parents game with their kids too.
I have a friend who drunkenly sent Zico a DM, riddled with misspellings and abbreviations of course, saying she was coming to Korea soon, and wanted to be his friend and they should hang out, because she liked his music. He read it.
Whenever I saw a stage mix I was so confused as to how their clothes are changing. I eventually came to the conclusion that they had color changing clothes or something.
I thought Jenna's solo song said bitch I'm going solo, and assumed it was some diss track to Blackpink. I remember my jaw dropping hearing it. I thought she was leaving Blackpink and starting a solo career.
I thought the whole lyrics of the song were about her making a solo song.
Back before I became a carrot, my cousin was telling me about them, and how they were 17 and carrots, and played Shining Diamond, so the heard Koo's 17 carat part, and I deadass went. Why would they only call themselves 17 carats, like shouldn't they be 24? Why would they willingly sell themselves short? They must not think they're that great. ISTG passed me. I thought AKGs are the fandom of GOT7, I guess, therefore I always wondered why people hate them so much, whenever someone was referring to a toxic AKG.
No same, I thought AKs were Agasses, I was so confused as to why everyone hated GOT7 stans. I hated on a main vocal because he was stealing my bias's lines. I was 14.
Okay, so I was in summer school, and I sat up front. Mind you, I had Min Hyuk from Monsta X as my lock screen. This photo in particular. So I was sitting up front and my summer school history teacher walks by my desk. As he is walking by my desk to get to the chalkboard where he teaches the class, I put my phone at the very top of the desk. I accidentally click the side button which turns on my iPhone. As he is passing by, he catches a glimpse of my lock screen wallpaper. He then says, while looking dead at me, "Is that you with blonde hair?" and he leaves. The person who was sitting beside me, also a K-pop stan, just starts giggling, and I think a part of me died. I'm a girl with long hair too, so.
LMAO, I sent a DM to JYP himself regarding 2 PM, and when they are gonna have a comeback, and he actually replied. This was like 10 plus years ago, still surprised he replied. Edit. I checked. I didn't send a DM to JYP. I think it was a very winny tweet, but he replied to me via DM, so.
Can't trush.
Thought 17 had 17 members for years, until I counted them.
Believing these cringe-ass BTS x Blackpink ship edits were real, and using them as my profile picture on Instagram. I just started to get into K-pop at that time.
I thought fancams on broadcasting shows were people actually filming them from the audience. Poor old me.
I was in a Zoom meeting. We were having a sort of dry run for a presentation with only a handful of consultants, and when it was my turn to share screen, it showed my Twitter timeline. That of course showed K-pop stuff. LOL. Kinda panicked and it stayed for more than 5 seconds before I could switch to the PPT screen. Ugh. Not even just an update of a group. The post at the top was lamenting about wanting to see a 98ZV live. I can't forget it. Lol. The audience laughed, and I was so mortified.
I used to be convinced that Momo from Twice was a member of Momoland and that they named the group after her.
As a non-native English speaker, I genuinely thought jopping was a real word or slang when I first listened to it.
When I had first gotten into K-pop, I didn't understand the term fighting. So whenever idols used to say this, I would get confused as to why they are telling us to fight. I would be like, why should I fight? Am I supposed to fight someone? I didn't know that they said it as a way of encouragement. I discovered Hyuna in 2015 and fell in love hard. She was the only K-pop idol I listened to for like 5 years. I only really listened to her solo stuff. I would put on Crazy and Hate from time to time, but never got into 4-Minute. It took me till 2021 to realize 4-Minute had 5 members. In my defense, why would you name your 5-member GG 4-Minute?
I still do this, but whenever I hear someone say netizens I think they're saying Xens, which is NCT's fandom name. So one time I was having a conversation with my friend about the backlash Ning Ning was getting, and she said netizens are attacking her, and I thought she said Xens are attacking her. So I legit thought for like a month after that convo that Xens all hated Ning Ning and A Spot, till I found out that wasn't the case.